make sure this is in focus. Regardless if I'm in focus or not, I'm recording this anyways. It looks clear to me, but I see it on a small screen. But what's good, y'all? It's Timmy Lee Glean. Coming at y'all with another video, another single father thought. And as I was sitting here contemplating on what topic to actually speak about, once again, some things I will have planned out, some sort of script or outline, and some things like this I'm gonna just kind of just go off the head, and I'm gonna do my best to not ramble the way that I've done in previous videos. But I believe a lot of the points that I'm mentioning are things that, you know, a lot of people need to take heed to. You know, if you look at the previous videos of this series, I'm bringing up a lot of topics that you wouldn't hear a lot of parents speak about in the modern day, in this modern era, because quite frankly, people don't care about the children. You know, just my last topic alone, you know, the importance of the nuclear family, you know, that was the last topic that I was going to do. But I ended up making that the next one because I would just move to speak about it. Now in this one, alright, so this is something that's controversial only because, you know, we live in a society, and I had to combine two into one, by the way, because the topic that I originally wanted to talk about was your children are not your friends. And that is true. Your children should never be your friends. There's an order to things, and that's not to say that you don't have a friendly nature with them, that you're not kind to them, that you're just treating them like an object or a thing, you know, like how some parents would, you know, but they're not your friends. Essentially, they need you to guide them. You're not going to be able to guide your friend. You know, your friend is your friend. Whatever decisions they make in life, that's what they're going to do. And you can be, you know, the best friend that you can be to support your friend. Or if they're, you know, too toxic, and just like a lot of the things that they do or decisions that they make, you know, it's like, and you don't agree with it, and they're not hearing you, as far as, you know, you have the option to, you know, wean away from them and stay away from them, you know, if that friendship isn't a good friendship. If, you know, you're growing or outgrowing your friends, you're not going to want to be around the same people. See, your children are different because they're going to essentially be there for the rest of your life. And because of that, there's going to be a point in time, you know, most high willing, that you actually get to speak to your children as a grown-up, as an adult. And you know, and they're not children anymore. They're grown-ups. They're adults. That's when I feel like the friendship, as far as, okay, I can acknowledge you now, you know, as somebody that is at that level, at that adult level, and I will respect you in that light. And just because children are children don't mean that we just treat our children any kind of way and disrespect them. So I never want you to get that off of what I just said. And some people just want to just be best friends with their children. No, that's my best friend. That's my rock. And that's the problem, that a lot of people are single today. And I would say especially, and it's this thing in the black community. So this is not specifically towards the black community, but this is specifically towards a certain type of parent. And as you can see in the title of this video, your son is not your man. And I've seen this too many times where single mom, you know, and she got a son, and whatever dude comes in the house, the little boy puffing up his chest, and he's sizing up a grown man. Like, first and foremost, if a little boy were to ever do that with me, just know I ain't even checking the boy. I might let the mom know, like, yo, your son, he know exactly what he doing. He doing this, like, look at him, his movements, just puffing up his chest, standing up to a man, all that, you know, like, I can advise the woman the best that I can. Like, yeah, your son, he, you know, he gonna keep you single for a long time, you know, because nobody wants no little boy trying to usurp some authority over, like, and then it's just like, it was like the drawing that I drew this drawing in my last, not my last, but like I think 2 weeks ago on my ministry page, and I was speaking about the spirit of Jezebel, and I was speaking about how we can make woman God as men if we are allowing the woman to be the head of our lives. Now, a woman that is the head of her house, and she's gonna do whatever she's gonna do is whatever she's gonna do. But when a man comes into the life of the woman, he does become her head. And some people allow the children to be over the man as well, especially if it's a child that's not even his. Like that'd be the biggest thing for me, you know, as far as how do things work. You know, sometimes, you know, it'd be a father still in the life of the mother, and that father has a special kind of access to her. And we could say the same for, you know, the other side, as a man might meet, you know, a fine young lady, and he might have a baby with somebody else, and he has to deal with her because most likely, on average, the woman is the one that's going to have custody. And because they're with the mothers, that's the order that they're under. And if under that order the boy has some sort of power in the household, you know, a lot would say he's the man of the house. So now the boy is walking around like the man of the house. You know, you see, like, you know, these photo shoots. I saw this photo shoot of some mom, and she had her son dressed up in the Spider-Man, and he was upside down, and, you know, she kissed him on the lips, as a lot of parents believe in kissing their children on the lips. That's my baby. I made like, see, that's and it'd be like, you know, like, even that in of itself is something that I feel like is just off. But, you know, that's your thoughts, you know, but I don't believe that parents should be kissing their children on the lips. Now, if you do that, and that's what you do, and this, you know, and it's normalized to you, then it's normalized to you. Honestly, I believe it's weird behavior and activity. I don't care, like, you don't have to be on no weird stuff. I'm just saying it is weird, and it's a gateway to open up to weird stuff. Now, I'm not saying that people that do that is on some weird stuff, but I'm saying there's people that's on some weird stuff that do that. So, there's women today that their sons are their literal man. No, I mean, like, their man. Like, they are with this man, and, like, he's a man, and his dedication is to his mom. You know, you see how, you know, some sons will still sleep in the bed with their mom at a certain age. I believe weird stuff is going on with a lot of these moms. I believe a lot of these moms are predatory. But to me, it's like it's hard to speak about certain things, because when we speak about women in general, and when we're generally speaking about women would generalize everything. So when you got the good mothers, they're being generalized with the bad mothers. So on Mother's Day, we're giving high praise to bad mothers for the sake of motherhood. But for fathers, it's just like, well, you know, like, even on Father's Day, you get a pair of socks and that's it. You know. Nah, it's actually weird stuff going on, and you can't tell me no different when a boy grows up to be a man and he has a woman, and the mom is so enamored with her baby that she uses all types of petty everything to get in between the son and his woman. And a lot of these guys will attract a good woman. I'm not even gonna say a lot of these guys will attract bad women. I'm not saying that these women are attracting men with husband qualities, but they're raising up these boys to be her husband. And a lot of mothers don't know that they're doing this. But I believe a lot of mothers know that nobody can have my baby. He's mine. When you have that mindset, I believe, and I'm gonna say 5 times out of 10, I don't think that this is all cases. I just believe that some women are territorial over their children, and even if it's a good woman, but I feel like 5 times out of 10 some stuff is happening with that mom and that son. And you could tell me different, or you can think different, or anything. I know something is happening. You know, we always talk about the uncles, and we always talk about the men, you know, that abuses the children, but we never talk about the women abusers. We never talk about the deadbeat mothers, because usually the deadbeat mothers have custody of their children. You know, but once again, it's easier to talk about this stuff in an understanding society. But when you're speaking about certain things in a society that don't have a deep or clear understanding on what's even happening in their society, and how the role of the man has been diminished, and the only time that a man is praised by our women is if he's either a homosexual or he agrees with the status quo of the women. I don't think that there's any other way that a man in general will get any sort of overall general respect or general love from the overall, you know, without being those two things. So when you're a man that's really speaking on certain things that are hard for people to hear, and I feel like it puts a bad taste in people's mouth. But people have to know the truth, that there are so many predatory women that exist. Yeah, they exist. And I believe that many of them are convinced in their mind that this is the replacement of my man. A lot of women will be single but will still have their son there. Like I said, some women, some women gonna do what they do, but there's some women that actually has no man. No man. I'm not talking about like somebody that's single that got dudes coming through and and things like, no man. She has no man at all. Who's the one that's gonna grow up and provide for the household? A lot of these mothers pushing their sons into just selling drugs to provide for the household. Mothers do this. I'm not talking about the boy making his own decision. No, the mothers are pushing sons to provide for the household because there's no man. There's women that has a chance to have a man, but the son is getting in the way, or they will use the son as the excuse. And some people say, if I'm talking about overall children is one thing. I'm talking about the son. There's lots of sons that have these weird relationships with their moms. There's these mama boys. So let's see the result. Not even somebody that was on some funny business. Just somebody that was raised up to be a mama's boy. That's gonna grow up to be a mama's man. And that's what it is. Like, a grown man is still grown men. By the way, grown men that says mama's boy. Think of how weird that sounds. I'm not saying you don't know weird stuff. No, it's okay to acknowledge. My mom loved me. My mom loved me. She still called me her baby. And this and that, which, in a sense, even though I'm 33 years old, she got to watch me as a baby and she got to watch me grow up. But one thing my mom not gonna do is hold me back. A lot of these mothers are holding their sons back from being the men that they're meant to be. A lot of these women are holding their sons back from being with the women that they're meant to be with. And they're holding their sons back from doing what they're meant to do. What if that boy was meant to grow up and to go to college out of state? What if he's meant to, and it always seems like these boys grow up into men and they want to stay close to mama. But even when they get married and now the mom is getting in between the marriage, you can't refute this. You can't refute this. I'm just telling you the result of the man now, of these boys. That anytime there's a woman in his life, the mama has to get in the middle of it. She has to get in your business. She have to, like, first of all, if you a man, your mom shouldn't be hearing anything about your relationship. You know, of course you talk to her about the general things, but the deep things, y'all issues and everything, you know, like, I'd rather talk to one of my friends than my mom about some things. Yeah. Because my mom is going to come from the perspective of, that's my baby. My mom might not even give me the best logical answers or anything. She's going to respond based off of her nurturement for her baby. Like, that's a real thing, you know. So when you're trying to go to your mother for certain things, like, I believe certain things you go to your mom, your parents for, you know, but I believe certain things, man, especially as a man, you should talk to your dad. But unfortunately, we don't have fathers in our community. So if we don't have a father, then you have to talk to another male figure that was solid in your life, you know. But I say choose that, or choose a close friend. You know, certain problems we got to talk to the guys about, and some things that we can't just express to women, because they're not gonna get it, especially our mom. Like I said, that's my baby, so I'm like, Mom, we going through these problems. She's like, well, baby, you know, you always got a home here, baby. If it's some relationship problems, most likely she gonna be like, well, you know, like, if she's a wise mom, she's gonna be like, well, work it out with y'all, try to figure it out, you know, come to an agreement or whatever you gotta do. Like, that's a wise mom. But on average, it's not gonna be a wise mom. A mom is not gonna give no wise advice to her son. If she hears that there's relationship problems, see, I knew you shouldn't have messed with her. See, I know it. I knew she wasn't no good. It's like, nah, like, and planting seeds in your son's mind, like, you know, and this could be a good woman. You know, we see it all the time, like, with these boys that can't even stand up to their moms, and these women are just angry and upset at their man because they man ain't even man enough to stand up to their mom. But because there's a man talking about this, I don't know who will agree or who will disagree. But that mindset truly creates the division between man and woman even worse. That you as a mother could really raise up a man with great qualities and all this, but you never given him any sort of male reinforcement. You know, the qualities are important, but it's important to be a man as well. And sometimes you as a woman might look at certain qualities of a man as undesirable. For instance, and I'm talking about an actual man, I'm not talking about these little boys. Sometimes when us as men speak, sometimes there's a certain tone that we use. It doesn't necessarily have to be raising our voice, but it's a masculine tone. But whenever you speak past a certain decibel point, now it's considered or deemed as toxic, because you just being a man. Maybe as a man, you just need to speak and express yourself. I've been through relationships. I've been through some relationships where I was burying my masculinity for the sake of making the woman happy. But you know what happens? It's going to come out in rage. And I remember I had a rage moment. And no, I didn't have an abusive moment where I abused anybody. But I definitely did break stuff. I definitely did flip stuff. And a woman can take that real quick, like, oh, he's this, look, he got anger issues, he got like, and just like, you know, they try to say the same thing about my son. You know, that my son got anger issues and things. No, he's a boy, he has masculine traits, and those things have to be buried for the sake of making everybody else happy. So it's going to come out in forms of anger. And if he's not taught to even understand that he has feelings and emotions and a healthy way to deal with them, it's going to come out in a negative way. You know, and this is why you got a lot of guys that was raised without fathers, that have been docile their whole life, they had to bury their feelings and bury their emotions. And, you know, they deal with this with their mothers, with their sisters, with their aunts, with the grandmas and everybody. And it's like the whole family seems like it's like against him just being a man. So the aggression is going to come out in the form of violence. most of the violence from the black man that comes out is going to be towards another black man. This is why we kill each other. It's that frustration that we can't take out on our women that we're going to take out on each other. That's a real thing. You know, and a lot of these guys do grow up and they do end up having a woman, but a lot of these guys end up not liking women. Like, they end up being turned off by women completely. A lot of these, they call them homo thugs. A lot of these guys will even be on the down low because they might have felt more love from a man and more just. And sometimes it happens where you got like a weird family member, a weird uncle, or a weird person at the church that are around these boys, and certain things happen, and you know, but that's another topic for another story. But you know, people grow up the way that they grow up for a reason, and people are the way that they are for a reason. And I said, I know I touched many different points, but I want to get the overarching issue here and the overarching, you know, get back to the topic basically, that, you know, you as a mother, you are not your son's anything but their mother. You're not their best friend. And the moment that you start, and this is for your daughters as well, you know, you're not your children's friends. This is for those fathers as well that felt like because their dad wasn't there that you want to give your children a life that you never had. Or you might have had a certain kind of dad and might not understood why he was the way that he was, so you want to be the opposite of that, and you might realize that that has been a grave mistake, as you could probably see the results in your children now for just being their friend and never drawing a line between parent and child. Now that you can't even speak in your children's life, whereas it's children speaking into their parents. It's children running their households. It's children that are the heads of their family over both the parents. Quite frankly. But when you as a single mother give your son the keys, you are the man of the house. The moment that a woman does that, you don't know the type of seed that you planted in that boy. He's still a boy. What do he know about being a man? So when he becomes a man, he's still a boy, because in his mind he was a man as a boy. So he's gonna grow up still being a boy because no man ever taught him or was an example of being a man for him. And then the only examples of a man that he might have is the people that you might listen to, the people that you might have on TV, or like I said, the people in the neighborhood on the block. That's why people get into gangs. That's why people get into selling drugs. That's why people get into guns. That's why people get into the streets in general, because this is the masculine example that is set before our boys. You know, and a lot of these guys, once again, it ain't just the streets. You know, a lot of them, like I said, will grow up. Like, and it don't have to be no funny stuff. So I just mentioned the funny stuff because we can't gloss over that anymore, because there's so much funny stuff going on with these mothers and these boys. We always point out the men and these little girls and boys, but we never point out the women. You know, so I'm just equal. And in this mindset. And I'm only saying this because I know a couple of cases where the mother was the literal man to her son. He couldn't have no woman. She was the woman. It was funny stuff going on. They grown, and it's funny, like, and you don't figure stuff out until people grown, but it's wicked. And like I said, I've seen the results of the child and that child being raised up and groomed into being her actual man. You know, once they start to hit puberty, and once they start to become a teenager, once they start to get stronger, once they start to... A lot of these mothers think sick thoughts. You know, like, a lot of them are sick and don't need children. You know, so they're looking at their sons desirably. This is an actual thing, y'all. So when I'm speaking moving forward, we're not talking about no funny stuff. I'm just talking about a mother that really loves her son. She just loves her son. But I'm telling you that if you raise your boy as a single mother to feel like he's the man of the house, first of all, for you as a woman that leaves no room for a man to even come into your life, that's gonna make you single forever, I feel like. until you realize, like, oh, he's just a boy. This is just a child. And one day, if you have a man, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all had a man, but you allowed your son to have authority over your man because he was there first, because he's your baby, because my baby gonna always be there. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Most likely, your son gonna grow up to resent you. If he's not in a relationship with you, in a weird relationship, most likely your son is gonna grow up to resent you for how you raised him. For when life hits him and he's not prepared. And I've seen many cases where these boys are grown now and they realize my mom did not prepare me for life. My mom did not prepare me for the harsh realities of being a man. You know, and you know, take what I said how you want it. Like I said, I believe that there are great mothers. I believe there are mothers that mean well, but there are mothers that hold on a toxic mindset of holding on to their baby as long as possible, to the point she's getting in the way of his destiny. Meaning, what if he has a great opportunity, but he has to move out of state? And what if he moves out of state, if he gets to meet the wife that was meant for him? But now you're holding him back and now he's stuck here, or wherever your hometown is, and he's stuck with you, and he's stuck in your cycles, and he's stuck in, and now he has to take care of you for the rest of his life. Because you shut yourself off from being with men, from being with a man, and you might have come across some good brothers, but your son is coming in the middle of your relationship because he's the man of the house. So that you push men away, and you can push good men away by doing this. And like I said, it don't have to be no weird stuff. I'm not gonna stray away or shy away from the tough things, from speaking about the tough things that most people wouldn't even approach. But that's my desire, is to speak about the things that make people uncomfortable. Because I feel like in order to really face the truth, it takes a level of uncomfortability, and there's no way that any of us can grow without being uncomfortable. You know, but once again, it's toxic. And these boys know what they doing, getting in the middle and getting in between. They know what they doing when they say certain stuff, or when they trying to size up a man, or when they call it cock block, when they trying to get in the middle, get in between. These boys know what they doing. They are little children that have no business cutting in the affairs of grown-ups. I don't care what type of life you live or what you doing. They are boys. They are boys. They have no business in the middle of grown people affairs. And that's the problem. You know, and that's why in the beginning I say your children should never be your friends. Because the moment that you allow your children to be your friends, they start determining things in your household. They don't pay a bill, they don't pay a cent, they don't pay a dime or nothing. They children, yet they have all this power. I believe it's demonic. The Most High has an order, and in His divine order, last I checked, the children are at the bottom of that order. And not out of oppression of the children. No, it's simply because they children. It's simply because they don't have the wisdom in life. They could be smart children. I was a very smart child, but I had no wisdom. I was stupid. Even though I was one of the smartest children that you could probably ever meet. I was a little smart guy, genius. And I had a little street smarts to me. I was a little genius. But I still had a level of naivety. I still had a lack of wisdom, like I said. I still had knowledge that I needed to attain. You know, and that happens with growing up. That happens with experience in life. But ultimately, like what I'm saying in this whole thing, is y'all mothers gotta stop holding your sons back. You gotta stop holding your sons back. And I guarantee you, if fathers did half the stuff that these mothers do with their sons, there would be so many men that'd be locked up. And I don't even mean funny stuff. I just mean just general stuff that a lot of these mothers do with their sons. A lot of things that they say to their sons. A lot of things that grown women say to little boys. I've heard a grown woman call a little call a little boy, "Oh, you sexy." Call a little boy sexy. People do that. But try imagine me calling a little girl sexy. No, just picture that. I'm in jail. I'm in jail if I'm doing it, because I would never do that. I would never do that. It's not okay. It's not. That's not something you say to little children. But a lot of these women say it. I heard it a lot. Somebody that watched this video somebody that watched this video that know me personally probably said it to a little boy. And you probably didn't mean the words by it, but I'm just saying, just the conditioning in the mind to even say something like that to a little boy. There's something going on in this society now. It's weird. It's this weird energy that's just going around, and it's very demonic. It's grooming children to be more acclimated to grown-ups. We have minor attracted persons, MAPS, meaning people that are attracted to younger children, but they're only pointing out the men. But I believe the more that a lot of these people start to fight for their rights, as they're gearing up to start their civil rights movement, and their stake in the civil rights and having their rights to love on children. And this is a sick thing that's real. Do your own research. And of course, it was stemmed from the Man Boy Love Association, founded in 1978, for men to love little boys and for them to have their rights. And that was during the civil rights movement of the letter movement. The civil rights for the letter movement, another movement that's been used to push us black men under the rug. But regardless of that, there's another side to that. It's not just men with little children. It's women with little children as well. And you as a single parent, don't just watch out for these men. Watch out for these women. Listen to how they talk. Are they lustful? Are they speaking a certain way to people that are underage? I've heard women say certain stuff to teenagers. I heard women say, "Wait till you get older." I heard that before. Wait until you get older. To an 11, 12-year-old. Just imagine a man saying that to a 10-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl. Wait till you get older. It's sick. I'm just telling y'all. I'm just passing some stuff on. Like, really pay attention to some people. If you are in a certain lifestyle and you are a single mother and you have a son that is growing up and he's starting to hit puberty, and you got friends that are weird, watch out for those friends. I'm telling y'all think, man, don't think that I'm just saying this stuff because I'm saying it. I'm saying it because I remember being 10 years old, 11 years old, hearing so many boys talk about what they did with an older woman, with the grown woman, 11, 12, 13. So I'm telling you, as a single mother, because single fathers see right through all this. I'm a single father. I see right through it all. If I see somebody looking a certain way or being a certain way, I'm gonna cut in the middle of that. That's why the devil don't want us men, because us men see stuff that, quite frankly, a lot of women ain't gonna see on average. She not gonna pay attention to the fact that, oh man, that's my uncle, man, I love him, and this and that, and just and your uncle acting weird with the other children. But it's like, why is the uncle always playing with it? Why he always playing with the kids? Why ain't he talking to the grown-ups? Like, this is stuff that we gotta really pay attention to, y'all. I spoke about this in a couple other my single father thoughts, some of my older ones, because we really have to look at this. And like I said, I didn't want to turn this into this, but when we are looking at the perversion that's going on, we sweep the women under the rug completely. It's like women can't do any wrong. It's like these mothers can't do any wrong at all. Meanwhile, a lot of them are actually predators. A lot of them are perverted. A lot of them are wicked heathens. Yes, I said it. A lot of these mothers. I already point out the men, all the men in the church and this and that, and like I said, the weird uncle, the weird granddad, the weird, cousins, and all that stuff. This stuff really happens, but the mothers. Let's point to these weird moms. Let's point to these weird women that make certain remarks towards little boys. That may seem harmless, everybody laughing at it, but if a man said the same thing that a lot of these women would say, I guarantee you he would be locked up. He probably would have got beaten up already. He probably would have even got murdered. Imagine a grown man telling your daughter, ooh, you sexy, wait till you get older. Imagine that. That's murder beef right there. But we don't have that same energy to protect our boys. They're children as well. Our boys need protection as well. And nobody really protecting these boys. We gotta protect the children. The children are boys and girls, last I checked. And we gotta raise our boys up to be protectors. But if we're creating victims, how can a victim even protect anybody? A victim will eventually become the victimizer. That's what usually happens, I would say about 6 to 7 times out of 10. And not in no funny stuff, it could be an abusive manner, meaning punching and hitting and beating your woman or beating the children. People usually beat their children because they've been beat as a child. And people don't deal with their traumas. But a man doesn't have an outlet to even talk about certain things or he gonna get laughed at. I try to imagine certain things that people get talked to. I'll try to imagine if a boy said, yeah, my mom, man, I've been dating my mom. I've been in a relationship with my mom. I've been doing stuff with my mom. Who could come out and say that? Yeah, my mom had this friend and she used to leave us over their house. When I was 13, 14 years old, that's when she started. These men ain't talking about their story. Because at that point, they thought it was cool to be with an older woman. They thought it was cool. It was a cool thing. So when they talking about it to their friends, they come in school talking about it. And I was there. I don't think this was just in the city of Buffalo at my little home public school. This is the black community I'm talking about. But this can happen in all kinds of communities. But the black community. I mean, most of the boys in my class. Most. 11. 12. Man, I had this older chick, man. She was a grown woman. Yeah. You going over your friend's house. And your friend's mom looking at you a certain way. You know what? I'm done talking. I just hope that you get the point. That there are toxic mothers out there. There are predatory moms out there. This is a real thing. But to the non-predatory mom, to the mom that just is overprotective, that loves her son, that cares for her son, he is not your man. That is your son. I know that you mean well when you do certain photo shoots but it looks like you two are an item or a thing in a lot of your photo shoots. Now I'm speaking to whoever I'm speaking to. I'm not saying you on no weird stuff. And I feel like some people will try to take a soundbite, misconstrue what I said because I'm mentioning 2 different sets of mothers, by the way. It's just the woman's problem is y'all include all women into everything. That is the problem, and you need to stop doing that. And you got to actually separate yourself from the wicked mothers. If you are a good mom, that you're doing the best that you can, that you're working hard, that you're not on no stripper pole, that you're not selling yourself, that you're not on OnlyFans, but you actually working an actual job, that you really doing the best that you could to raise up your children. You're doing the best that you can. to provide for your children as a single mother. Stop including yourself with these other mothers. Because a lot of you good mothers, feelings will get tied, and a lot of you, it'd be good mothers that will say, oh, that, and they'll hear a man speak about a certain kind of mom, and she'll say, well, I'm not like that. So, and when you're doing that, that's pretty dismissive to the rest of them. Yes, you're not like that, but that doesn't negate the rest of them. I call myself a single father, but I'm not going to group myself in with the single fathers that don't have sole custody of their children. I have sole custody. I am solely responsible for everything in their lives, including their education. I don't send them to school, so I'm not going to group myself in with any father, because quite frankly, I do a lot more than the average father. And not to down any fathers, because hey, if you are a father and you are married and you are in the same household as and you are working and providing, or regardless if you're even not in the household, you're getting child support taken from you, you're working, you're building whatever you have up, and you're doing the best that you can, you know, as in your father, you're seeing your children, if you have a mother that even allows you to see the children, you know, but you're spending time with your children. As the black man, we spend more time with our children, and we are the most active fathers out of any other group of people, yet we are not in the households with our children predominantly. I think that says something, that a lot of these mothers are really pushing good men away, you know. So, and is there the dirtbag fathers and the deadbeat fathers and the men that aren't there? Yes, but we can't even go off of that connotation, that negative connotation. And in my next one, I want to definitely speak upon that. But yeah. But that's it. That's all I have for y'all. If you're rocking with this series, you know, yeah, you know, view the playlist. I have many great topics to speak about, and also, you know, watch this video right here on nuclear families. I'm telling you, it's going to be a blessing, just to listen to the perspective. So regardless, you know, pick your poison, choose what you choose. And I'm telling you, as a father, as a man, I think it'd be good for you to watch these. But especially as a single mother, or parent in general. I feel like parents in general can really pick something up from these. So I will hope that you pick something up from this. But I'm just thankful and grateful, and you know, that I have an opportunity to do this. I'm very humbled. But all praises to the Most High. You know, may He bless you in Yahushua's name.